The mic on.
We back. Hello. Sitting like cross-legged and I did leg day yesterday and I'm sore. It is sore. Anyway, today I wanted to speak about, I had a conversation last night with a friend and we've encountered some nasty people lately in our life. Good lessons though. And she is the type of person that probably gives people too many chances. Always being kind, always accommodating. And I feel like this is how you're going to get walked all over. And, there is probably times that she does. But then once she's done, she's done. And then I was saying to her, well, she said to me, she goes, 2026, it's just the year of like, nah, you don't get any second chances on this. And I was like, yeah, draw the boundary. Sometimes you really do have to actually just draw the boundary and just be like, no, you've disrespected me and I'm not going to keep giving you chances. So I'd also said to her, empathetic people like us, because once you obviously piss off somebody who's empathetic, they're done. They're done. Trust me, they'll never, ever, ever come back. I'll give you endless chances and then I'll be done with you. And something that I've had to learn for myself over the past, I couldn't get that word out, for the past 6 months is that I'm just not giving people any more chances anymore. It's just like, if you've disrespected me, you'll disrespect me again. Like, that's it. It's clear as day. If you can't meet me at the same respect that I give you, goodbye. I just don't have time for it. So, obviously, I'm always writing notes here. And I guess with that, you're like empathetic people, you tolerate behavior a lot of people being horrible. And, sometimes you just got to sit back. And another thing about being an empath is like, I can really understand what somebody's gone through. I don't even look at it like when someone's angry or say something horrible, I don't even think that's like a personal attack to me. How I look at it is like, oh my God, your childhood. And I see all your childhood wounds and all your trauma and where that came from. And I am so understanding of how that person got to that point. But I think that's where you can, get walked all over and you have to draw the line. And this is not about me being like going forward and being like bitter and closed off to people. It's just saying, okay, well, this is my respect and this is my little bubble of respect. And if you can't, like, I can give people a lot of respect, a lot of love and kindness and that kind of thing. And it's like, if you can't meet me there, well, then go. I don't really have time to be mistreated. Like, I'm only available for people who are going to give me what I give them. And I think that's fair. I think that is so fair for people to have that, I think that's so fair. I feel like also, so with second chances versus self-respect, there's like there's two things to it, right? With second chances, you could give people second chances. And I feel like when you're giving people endless chances to prove a behavior, which you should have got the first time, that they obviously can't meet you at that level, I feel like that reduces your power because people then go, oh, well, this person's weak. This person actually can't hold their own. Oh, actually, no, I probably could do it a few more times to them and they're not going to do anything. They're not going to leave. They gave me like so many chances last time, so I guess I can just do it again. Like, it doesn't hit to them. Like, it's like they don't feel at a loss hurting you. That's how I feel. And like a lot of the time, well, not a lot of the time, but like over the years, I have done that and it has reduced my power and people have, walked all over me. And then I'm like, oh, what have I done? It's like, no, I haven't drawn the boundary. But 2026, we're drawing boundaries, baby. We're not letting anybody in. And what that's going to ultimately teach people is what you tolerate. How far can they actually push you before you're like, absolutely not. And, there is a difference. When you are going to respect yourself and have self-respect and draw a boundary, you can do it with grace. You don't have to be nasty or horrible and be like, actually, you know, blah, blah. You don't need to be like that. You can just be like, oh, sorry, you've actually disrespected me, and I don't really fuck with that. That's not the type of behavior I want to be around. That's not how I would treat you. So I'm done. Like I'm just going to quietly leave this way. And some people will actually be shocked because they'll be like, oh, what? Are you actually going? No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't leave. And it's like, no, actually, I just don't have time for this. I also said to my friend, I was like, you know, maybe back in the day, in like our early 20s, it felt like when you had one friend or one girlfriend, it felt like that person had to be in your life forever. And then as you get older, you realize you're like, okay, not everybody's going to be in your life forever. And that is okay. People are going to be in your life for a season. I've lost many girlfriends because we've outgrown each other, and it's not a bad thing. We've just gone in different directions, different countries, different lives. They've had boyfriends, like kids, and maybe I'm not down that route. I've moved a lot. I travel a lot, so I've lost people from that. But then also the ones that I know who are true to my heart, who I would never lose and I will always reconnect with. I remember seeing one of my friends the other day in England, and she lives there and we haven't seen each other in years, and I was so excited, and she was like, yep, you can stay with me. Like, it was just like time had not passed, but it had at the same time, because we were kind of on the same trajectory. Like, we were on the same direction of goals and things that we wanted, and we just wanted better things for ourselves. And so it was nice to sit there and like discuss our goals, discuss our things that we want for ourselves, and then realize like, oh no, I love you so much, but I'll see you in like 2 years' time. Whenever I'm on this side of the world, or whenever you're on my side of the world, it's just all love. And there is literally friendships like that is just so easy. You don't even have to question it. But also it's just so funny when I came back with her, and there's other friends like that where I'm like, oh my God, we've been going through the same thing, but we just had no idea. And that's what I love about some friendships. But talking about, obviously, the difference between like self-respect and second chances is that, yeah, you can just do it with grace, and you can just set the boundary, and that is okay. Especially in 2026, I just feel like, where I was going with this is that I said to her, you have so many friends, you have so many beautiful, people in your life now. You have your own friend group, your own little family. It's like, you don't even need to worry about people pleasing. You do not need to people please for anybody now, because it's okay if you lose somebody, and it's okay if you look like the villain. I think another thing is like, sometimes you're so scared to not want to look like the villain to some people. But sometimes in some people's stories, it's just better for them to make you look like the villain. It's just better for them. And like, that's okay. You're not going to please absolutely everybody and be the good guy for everybody. And frankly, I don't want to be. I don't want to be the good guy for everyone. Like, sometimes people are going to hate you and whatever, but it has nothing to do with you. It's such a reflection on where they're at. Such a reflection of where they're at. I obviously, if I was to explain a situation currently, we talk about the current guy that I was dating. I'm the villain in his story. I wouldn't say I definitely was the victim in his story. Should have been, but it was easier for him to, instead of taking responsibility or having self-awareness or that kind of thing, and saying sorry to me, which I never once ever heard a sorry for him. I don't think he's ever said sorry to anybody in his life. And maybe I was, and I said it multiple times, maybe I was silly to even ask for an apology. Wasn't even really asking for apology. I just wanted to move forward instead of having this weird dynamic where he like hates me for no reason. I'm like, oh my God, we just dated and that was it. Like, it's over now. Why do we have to have this thing where we hate each other? Like, it's like he just wanted that. He wanted me to be the villain in his story, so he didn't have to accept responsibility for his actions and the things that he'd done to hurt me. And I was super accepting of that. I was like, it's all good. Like, you're clearly never going to say sorry. You're never going to take responsibility or accept accountability. And also, like, I think when you do those kinds of things, it's not even like for the other person. I think it should always just be for yourself. Because when you start to kind of reflect at your own behavior and realize the things that you've done and be like, oh, actually, no, I did stuff up on that. The times where I've had to really just put my hand up and look like an idiot and be like, oh, you know what? I was this person. You know, I hurt this person. I did this, and I'm really, really not proud of that behavior. I feel like in those moments when I talked to people or said sorry to them, they had way more respect for me than the times in my life where I just like ran away and hid. Because it's when you really just show up and you're raw and you're really like, and honestly apologetic, you're not there to kind of play a game. You're really there to be apologetic. You realize that people are like, wow, you're just human as well. And that's okay. And a lot of the time people are just like, thank you. I would have rather you just said that than us have this weird conflict. But sometimes people are just never going to move on. And yeah, I just said to her, I said, like, you can just like cut the boundary, just cut the fat, like cut the people out who are not going to serve you at all. You don't need them, literally. And also when you kind of set boundaries as well, and you do it calmly, I feel like, you know, something kind of changes with people. People will go, oh, okay, I see that. And they can either like rise to meet you and they can be like, all right, no, actually, I'm sorry. Yeah, I see that this is your boundary. I won't disrespect that ever again. I do want to be in your life. And there's people out there that will do that because they have, I don't know, the guts to. And some people will just remove themselves. Some people will just be like, nah, I don't want to deal with that. No, I'm out, whatever. And you know what? Both outcomes are just information. They're not failure. Doesn't mean you're a bad person because you lost somebody or that a relationship or a friendship broke down. It doesn't make you a bad person, or it's just you guys have differences, and that's okay. That's okay. Like that is absolutely fine. I just think that when you respect your own time and your own energy, people will do the same. When you show up in a way that you are like, no, I respect my time. No, I respect my own energy. No, this is my life and this is how I see it going. People go, oh, okay, I get you. I'm here. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Like, and yeah, I just feel like people actually start seeing your self-worth. They start to see your emotional maturity, and it just gives them clarity of how they should treat you. So I think boundaries are so good. I think they're great. Not avoidance. Don't avoid people. Just have a boundary of like, this is not how I'm going to be treated. Thank you. That is okay. And you know what? People actually give you more effort when they know that access isn't just granted. They don't just get it for free. They don't just get it so easily. You know, like they don't just get all your energy and time so easily. You know, I used to be so good at that when I was like in my first like early 20s in my relationships, and I'd just be like, have everything, have my heart, I love you, like you can have all my time, and you know, even with friendships, and I would be devastated when they wouldn't treat me the same. Devastated. But then I realized I was like, oh, I just had no boundaries because I would let people walk all over me. I would just accept that was okay. And I think that comes down to like also a bit of like self-love and like self-respect. Self-respect is probably, yeah, with self-love, right? So I think that they go hand in hand. And if you like really do love yourself, you love your time and you respect yourself to draw a boundary. That's it. Also, I want to also let you know that when you are drawing boundaries, just know You're not being difficult. You're not being unkind. And you're most certainly not being selfish. You are being grounded and emotionally safe and self-respecting of yourself. So having a boundary is not a bad thing. If people are going to treat you a certain way that doesn't feel good to you and that you wouldn't do to them, then you can quietly just walk away, and that's okay. Being empathetic, I think, is a beautiful strength and a beautiful trait. But you can be empathetic with boundaries. Do you know what I mean? And boundaries is what's going to protect you from not getting let down, not getting hurt over and over, not having to push yourself so far, like if you have absolutely no boundaries and you're constantly people pleasing, it takes a lot of energy. I know that for a fact. It takes a lot of energy from you because that energy could have just been poured into yourself. And I think that's what we need to focus on in 2026 is pouring so much into your own cup, really filling your own cup. And then people start to fall in love with your overflow. Literally, I know this in real time. This is literally happening to me. When I am like so in love with myself and so confident and so happy and grateful and joyous and like just all of those heightened emotions, I am overflowing, and then that way I can invite people into my life. I can date, I have time for friends. But when I am not in that state and I'm constantly like people pleasing and tiptoeing around and that kind of thing, it's so depleting to me. And then it takes me so much longer to fill my cup back up. And I have to retreat for so much longer to fill myself back up. Also, another thing is that you don't need to prove that you are a good person by giving people endless chances. That doesn't prove anything. What proves to people is when you have boundaries and self-respect and love for yourself, people they find that more magnetic than anything. Not you giving them a chance after chance after chance. They're just like, for some reason, we just don't respect things that are for free. It just really is that way. I don't know why human beings, like all the most beautiful things on earth right now that are for free, let's say the air, the sea, nature, I can tell you nobody respects it because I just don't think we would be doing half of the things that we do to the earth now. And when you get things for free, people just don't, it's just like they just don't want to respect it. But when you have to work for it, there's something about human beings. When you're working for something, working your way to something, man, they respect it more than anything in the world. So yeah, it really is a reflection of, if you don't have boundaries, that's a reflection of how people are going to treat you. So if you could think of anything like a little closing off line here, this would be, where in your life have you been giving more chances than you should? And also, would you be doing it again going into 2026? Okay, I love you guys so much. Appreciate your time. And I hope you have a beautiful day, night, wherever you are.